Today we're looking at the emerging CSS3 rules that are designated by the W3C as part of the standard, but they're in the emerging stage, meaning that some of the items have been adapted and adopted and made available so that they can be used in browsers. Some are fully implemented, some are partially implemented. Some work in some browsers and not in others. And so today, rather than focusing on how to do a specific thing in a specific software, because the software is changing too, this stuff is just emerging, and they're just figuring out how to put it into the interface with Expression4 or with Dreamweaver, and those things are going to be different, and every version of these softwares are going to change the way that they do these. Fortunately, you can see in here, Dreamweaver has provided some videos to help. You can find information on Expression4 as well. But what we're going to focus on today is how do you stay current and keep up with this stuff, at the same time being able to implement things and knowing how it's going to be implemented. And so what we're going to do is we're going to rely upon the W3schools.com, which is a website that basically provides, to the best of my knowledge, the most current information about these emerging trends and how they're integrated into browsers. And let me just give you a quick example of this. But I'm at the W3 Schools website right now, and it's a commercial website. They're here to make money, but they're also a lot of information in here that will allow you to go forward. And so over here is a menu, and this is the location to find the information for the CSS3 stuff. And if you came from the home, you would be able to see that there are a lot of different resources in here. But we are looking at the CSS3, and so that brings you to this location, and there's a number of different things that allow us to work in here, and I'll show you how these work. I'm going to use the multiple columns just as an example. Multiple columns, if you recall, in our Constitution site, we set up these 3 different divs in order to accommodate a 3-column layout for the articles of the Constitution, or the beginning articles of the Constitution. Well, using multiple columns, there is a way to do that within a single div. So that you don't have to change the structure just to get the columns. You can just change the presentation, which is the goal. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this, and you're going to see that important to look at. Here are the different rules that can be applied to multiple columns. There's column count, column gap, which is the space between 2 columns, and column rule. So you can choose whether you want 3 columns or columns that are 20 pixels wide or whatever. The interesting thing, and the reason I'm pointing you to CSS3, is because this is changing every day. It lists the different rules that are there, but then what it's going to do is it's going to show you the browser support for them. And so you'll see that in this case, Internet Explorer is not supporting multiple columns at all. Firefox is if you use one of these prefixes before you do the setting. And that's one of the important things to realize, is that as these various new rules are in the implementation phase, the way that it works is that the browsers work their way towards a implementation that fits the standards. But until they do, there are these customized prefixes that you need to use if Firefox is going to represent and make this work for Firefox, or if Safari and Chrome are going to use this. And so what it is it's prefixes that are put in there to sort of serve as a patch until those browsers fully implement whatever feature it is that you are doing. And so we've got this option to, I'm going to just choose here, create multiple columns. And what this allows you to do, it gives you the code with the prefixes as well as the code for when they're implemented. So if someday you no longer need this code, even though it's in there, if Firefox completely implements it, this code down here will then be recognized by Firefox. So, and that comes later in the cascade. So it will just disregard that, and it will apply the last rule that will work for it. And so that's how that works. And the way that this goes, and again, you can see over here which browsers will work with this particular rule. You click on Try It Yourself, and what that does is it allows you to come up and edit code in their environment so that you're not dealing with differences in software. You're just dealing with looking at the code here. And what I'm going to do is right now it's set for 3 columns. So again, this is the multiple column rule that we're working on right now. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to change that. And you'll notice that I am in Firefox, but I'm going to change this to 2 columns. And I'm going to do that for all 3 of these. And then what you do is you click to submit code, and what that's going to do is it's going to apply that code within the browser that you're viewing right now. And the interesting thing about it is see, as I get wider, those columns get wider too, or narrower as the case may be. And so there's a number of different instances of this. There's, like I said, there's the multiple columns. You can set how wide they're going to be, so that if we came to the rule one, here they're set at 3 columns, 40 pixels. So, or the 40 pixels is the gap between them. And you can go through and you can change all of those things in order to affect it. I'm just going to change these real quick in a drastic way so that you can see how it works, and then I'm going to move on to the next section. And you'll notice that it has widened this section in between them. The rule is not the space between them, but a line between them. So that allows you to set a visible line between columns, and you can give that colors as well. So those are a couple of the things that are available in multiple columns. But I want you to, what we're going to do today is I want you to go out and play. I want you to try each of these different effects that are listed under this tutorial. And each of them allow you to affect different things: text effects, backgrounds, fonts, etc. And it's going to let you see what browsers are there. And for instance, here in the background ones, there's different attributes that can be affected, for instance, in backgrounds. So you've got here the ability to change the background size of a background, or the size of a background image in CSS3. Here we've got the ability to use multiple background images, and this is based upon the ability to have a PNG or GIF with a transparent, or any image that allows you a transparent background. It will not work with a JPEG, but you can layer them one over the top of each other so that you can use multiple layers. Like here you've got 2 images that are in the background, and then you can work forward from that to have the different layers as long as they have that transparency. So just to demonstrate quickly how this works, I've grabbed a image from my website, and I'm going to add this in place of the foreground image here, which is the flower. So I paste my URL in there because this is an image that is out on my website. So I choose Submit Code, and what you'll see is that we've got the picture of me, and then what I've done, that's in the foreground, I've made the white portions of this picture transparent. So you can see the trees coming through anywhere where there's white pixels, and so that allows you to layer the different images with them bleeding through each other so that you can get some really cool effects that you weren't able to get previously. So I'd like you to go through, and this is what we're going to do for this week. Is I want you to go through. I want you to play with each of these and start thinking about how you can utilize those in the designs that you're going to be doing. And we'll talk more about transitions and animations and all that, but this is a good time to go in and play with those so that you can get an idea, a real good idea of what the changing things are with the CSS and what the different browsers support and don't. As well, you can take this code and you can paste it into your website, and whatever you have done will then work in your website. So that's where we're at for now. That's what we're going to do for the lecture this week. And this can be a whole lot of fun. Play with it, make some pages, get familiar with it, and enjoy this